Welcome viewers, welcome to the new lesson from Dr. Arts Biology. If you did not subscribe the channel, you can just click on the subscribe button and bell icon. Welcome students, welcome to the new lesson. In this particular lesson, we will be just dealing with the structure and importance of cyclic AMP. Okay, so let us see what is actually the cyclic AMP. From the name itself, AMP, we can see that it is adenosine monophosphate. So one phosphate is linked to adenosine, and that is what actually the AMP. And we can see that there is C coming in front, so it will be cyclic AMP. So cyclic adenosine monophosphate. That is what actually cAMP. Okay. So in this, we can see that adenosine. We have already learned about the structure of ATP. From there, you are just making ATP with only one phosphate group. That becomes the AMP. So it's easy for you. I am just drawing the structure. If you don't know how this particular structure is formed, you just watch the video on ATP, then you will be familiar. So I am just drawing the adenosine first. So sugar molecule should be there. Okay, and sugar molecule will be beta. So CH2. Okay, when I was checking the video, I just found a mistake in that cyclic AMP. The ribose I have drawn is not in this way. I just put the OH instead of H. So ensure that you are just reading it as the hydrogen only, not as the H. Okay, so continue the video. And it will be having one O. And let us see the remaining portion later. So here it will be having one nitrogen with another nitrogen, and then form the adenosine again, and here you will be having NH2, and then there is double bond here and hydrogen here, double bond here, double bond, and hydrogen here. Okay, so it will be like that. That is about the adenosine. Monophosphate is there. In this monophosphate is actually joined with this particular adenosine in a cyclic manner. It is due to the activity of enzyme known as adenylate cyclase. So adenylate cyclase enzyme is actually the one which converts adenosine monophosphate into cyclic AMP. So let us see how it will be. We know that cyclic AMP, the AMP is nothing but one phosphate only will be there. I am just taking this phosphate in this way. Double bond O, O minus, then OH. I am just taking in this way. I am just using this also OH. Okay. This double bond O will be into this particular structure, and the OH will be out. So steric interaction can be avoided in that way. So we can see that a bond will be formed by the action of adenylate cyclase between this particular hydroxyl group and this particular carbon. So this one will be removed out. So we can see that one water molecule will be removed out, and as a result there will be a bond between this phosphate and carbon through hydrogen. So this is actually the cyclic AMP. So to remember the structure of cyclic AMP, it is easy for you, nothing to worry. First you draw the AMP, then connect the phosphate with the third carbon of the ribose sugar in the AMP. Easy. So that's all. So water will be removed there. So this is actually the cyclic AMP, which is formed from AMP by the action of adenylate cyclase. Okay, hope it's clear for you. So that's about the structure. Thank you. Now we can just move to the importance of cyclic AMP. Okay, so make sure that you are not worrying about any structures. If you are knowing how it is formed and what is exactly it is, you don't have to worry about anything. I can just draw any of the structure that you are learning, okay, without looking into the book itself. Why? Because I am learning in such a way that how the molecules are linked, how the atoms are linked in a molecule. In that way I am learning, and that's why I can just draw at any instant. If I am outside the classroom also, I can easily draw all the structures that you are learning. It is in that way. So if you are practicing like that, you also will be sound in biochemistry and sound in every kind of structures that you will be learning in biochemistry. So don't worry about the biochemical structures. Instead, make an interest to learn how it is formed and how these are linked. Then it will be easy for you. Okay, so thank you. We can just see the importance. Okay, so in this, first we can see that we have learned about, in cell biology paper you will be learning about the second messenger, or in endocrinology also you will be learning about second messenger system, which is playing a role in case of hormones that are in a state not to cross the plasma membrane. That means in case of the peptide hormones. So they will be acting through a second messenger which is present inside the cytoplasm. The hormone, peptide hormone, will be just binding to the receptors on the surface of the cell. This will be activating second messenger, and which in turn activate the internal system of the cell. So we can see that second messenger is there in such cases. You will be learning in detail in case of the endocrinology paper, and this paper and endocrinology is there, and the cytology paper. So cyclic AMP act as the second messenger, especially in case of the G protein coupled receptor. Okay, so that is the first function, act as the second messenger, especially in the action, in the communication of peptide hormones and all, where G protein coupled receptors plays a role. Second thing is, the cyclic AMP will be activating protein kinase. It's actually the extension of this particular function only. It can activate protein kinase, and this protein kinase in turn will be activating another proteins which are especially enzymes. And how they will be activating the enzymes? It is by phosphorylating the serine, threonine and the tyrosine residues, the amino acid residues within the enzyme. That will be phosphorylated, and as a result the enzyme will be activated. This enzyme activation is done by this particular protein kinase enzyme, and the protein kinase activation is in turn done by the cyclic AMP. So that is the second function of or importance of the cyclic AMP. Now in third case, this is more important because it is dealing with the working of brain and heart. We know that without brain and heart you cannot live. Okay, so that is the third importance of cyclic AMP. We can see that it will be binding to and regulate the function of specialized ion channels. And we can see one example that is nothing but the HCN channels in the plasma membrane of brain and heart. So this is regulated by binding of cyclic AMP. This channel's function is regulated by the binding of the cyclic AMP. So that is the third role, third importance played by the cyclic AMP in your life, in organism's life. Now let us see what is actually meant by the HCN receptor, HCN channels. So we can see that it is nothing but the hyperpolarization activated cyclic nucleotide channel. The HCN channel is nothing but hyperpolarization activated cyclic nucleotide channel. You can see cyclic here and cyclic here, cyclic AMP. From the name itself, we can see that it is activated by the cyclic molecules. So cyclic AMP is one of the example. Okay. Now, what is actually mean by the HCN channel? How it will be? What exactly it is? This is just a full form, and we should know what is exactly the HCN channel. So it is a non-selective, that means common to all, non-selective voltage gated cation channel. we have learned about what is cation, positive or negative. Hope you remember that. So T, positive. So it's a positive ion. So cation channel, positive for the positive ions. Okay. Now, what is meant by voltage gated channel? This particular channel has a mechanism to get activated or deactivated based on the membrane potential, electric membrane potential near this particular channel. So, electric membrane potential of the plasma membrane where these particular channels are there is determining the activation or deactivation of voltage gated channel. An example for voltage gated channel is HCN channel, which is nothing but hyperpolarization activated cyclic nucleotide channel. So these are the importance of cyclic AMP. Hope you understood the concept, the structure and the importance of cyclic AMP. Ensure that you are learning this by revising the video, by seeing the video again and again, and ensure is one of the important question coming area, the high energy nucleotides, the important nucleotides. Okay, thank you for watching, and let's have a good lesson.